I admit it. I really enjoyed this. There are only two criteria for me when it comes to great games. Do I want to play it again after completing it? And do I have post-game depression? Expedition 33 certainly has left me sad. Yet, I want more of it. Is the game a perfect 10 out of 10 masterpiece like everyone else is saying? No, because there's no such thing as perfection. That said, for a small studio of only around 30 people, it's a miracle that this project even existed, let alone this good. Let's start with what I think is the best thing about this game, the soundtrack. Oh man, it's not every day that a soundtrack moves me emotionally. There's so many tracks here that tickles my heartstring that I would actually consider buying the official OST if I wasn't so broke. Yes, I'm willing to put 33 soundtrack over Elden Rings. Next is the combat, and boy, it's delicious. Now, turn-based RPGs has always been a big part of my life, so I never understood the rumors of it being an outdated gameplay. If anything, I'd say it's underappreciated. In my last video, I think a lot of people took offense when I said that this game's combat isn't original. First, originality is overrated. Second, taking notes from some of the finest RPGs ever made isn't an insult, it's a compliment. You're confusing inspiration with imitation. There's no denying that 33's combat system is based on personas. However, I enjoyed 33's more because there's more depth to its character's playstyle. The attribute allocation, the QTEs, and the many combinations of Pictos are just some examples of what makes this gameplay so addicting. Now, a trope in many RPGs is that characters are based purely on elements. For example, in Persona 5, An is fire-based, Ryuji is lightning-based. Players don't use them in a dungeon if enemies are strong against their element, making them less useful and less playable in certain areas of the game. 33 does something that I believe is far superior, and that its characters are based on playstyle. Miles is her stance ability, Ciel is roulette, and Verso is charging up rank. In other words, while some characters are certainly more effective against certain enemies, everyone is still viable. This is one of the few RPGs that I enjoyed playing every character. The traversal aspect of this game is also better than Final Fantasy XVI, because unlike 16, you actually find items that are useful. So, are there any gameplay issues that I have? Yes, but it's nitpicking. I personally would have preferred being able to switch characters in combat, because backup members only come in when all three front units fall. I also wish that there was an option to restart the battle in combat, because that would have saved me a lot of time, especially since I played on Expert. Last would be the menu system for the Pictos. I swear, every time I want to find a certain Picto, it's like scrolling through a goddamn dictionary. Oh, and touching the flag should auto-heal, and I would have liked the map too. Like I said, nitpicking. Alrighty, so I'm sure some of you are here because y'all want to hear what I thought about the story. For those of you who don't want spoilers, this is your only warning. In my last video, I said there's too many characters in the beginning. Because I had no time to bond with them, when they all died, it was more horrific than sad. I still stand by that statement. Second was Gustav, because his demeanor gave me the impression of a pussified Frenchie. However, he did grow on me as the story progressed, and I can see that he is a guardian who will do anything to protect Mael. His death did hurt me, because it was at a point where I was just starting to like him. If you saw my stream, you can actually hear me trying to cast the plot armor ability. Didn't work though. The other playable characters really grew on me as well, especially Mael. In a way, I was eager to protect her as much as Gustav. The family bond between the party members is one of, if not the strongest aspect of this game. They all grew with each other, learn from each other, and lean on each other. The only hiccup, as I stated in my previous video, is some of the dialogue feels a bit unnaturally cheesy. This is the same issue I find in modern Final Fantasy games with their anime grunts. Like their dialogue feels like a script rather than two people talking. That's why in the later part of the game, where each character starts opening up by their own trauma, it feels more natural because one is talking while the other one is listening. And finally, the plot. It's basically the Matrix, but programmers are painters. However, the plot isn't what makes the story, it's the theme. The theme of how people deal with loss and how trauma can push people into the extreme. Having gone through something similar recently, I don't know if being gifted this game is God's way of comforting me or playing a cruel joke. Perhaps both. The two endings were morally gray, and neither is more virtuous than the other. I don't know which ending you picked, but I went with Verso, and by extension, Renoir. The reason? Verso, the real one. I don't think he would approve of his canvas being used as the basis of his family's fracturing. He loves his family, especially Maël. He saved his sister at the cost of his life, and I'm sure that he will do it again in the painting world at the cost of others. First from the fire, second from herself. Also, do you think Gustave would choose Maël over the lives in Lumiere? Probably. Everyone in this story is selfish. Like Ciel even said that she traded Verso for her husband. That said, even though I stuck to my choice, the look on everyone's face in the end really devastated me. Esquier and Monaco, the GOAT, forgives us. Ciel disagrees, but understands us. And Lune's is just pure hatred and disgust. As of right now, I have not seen Maël's ending, but I can hypothesize that it's probably the opposite of Verso's. One is cruel, yet true, but you can move past it. One is kind, yet false, but you will suffer for it. Your personal value is what determines your ending of choice. The only question I have is, why did Verso choose to fight with us if his goal was the same as Renoir's? Their motivations are different, but their goals are the same. Anyways, for only $50, this game far exceeds what most big studios fail to accomplish, getting players to care about their game. Maybe this isn't the beginning of a gaming crash, but more of a gaming renaissance. And if that's the case, then I look forward to what this studio comes up with next.